to thank you for coming to Keeping It Real Estate. Okay? I have my guest, Alyssa Clayton, on. I am Haile Alexis. And today we're just going to talk like girls, right? We're going to talk about the business, talk about you, what you've done. Speaking of that, give me a quick tutorial on who you are.
All right. Well, my name's Alyssa Clayton. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And a little quick synopsis. I'm a realtor, but it took me a lot of steps to get there.
Yeah.
And my first job, I was like a lifeguard, straight out of high school. I was valedictorian, was going to go to like USC. Long story short, didn't end up going. Then I was like, all right, I needed a job, and I started working for In-N-Out. Within less than a year, I was a manager. So I was an In-N-Out manager for about 5 years.
Wow.
For working for like a really fast-paced billion-dollar business, I learned a lot. I went to In-N-Out University. I have like a burger diploma. It's
Wow.
so cute. I know, right?
Is that real? For real?
It's real.
Like,
it's a real thing.
Okay.
I swear. And then after that, I was like, well, it was either like keep moving up and like own a store, and that's my life, and that's it.
Oh, you really were going to take it to the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like right there, and then I was like, well, and then I was like, is this really what I want to do?
Yeah.
COVID hit. I got my real estate license, and I quit.
Wow. Okay, hold on. There's a lot to unpack there. First off, I was going to say, well, where are you from? But then you said In-N-Out, so I knew right there is Cali all day, right? Okay.
Cali all day.
So then what made you really, really think about real estate? I mean, COVID kind of made us all rethink life, but
yeah.
What made you? Do you have anybody in the family that's into real estate?
No one in the family that's into real estate, but I always felt like every single realtor I knew had the life I wanted, or so it seemed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to get into that.
So I definitely did that. I'm not going to lie. I think that was the time that Selling Sunset came out. So that show made me believe that that is the real life of a realtor. And I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. Yeah. And I kind of just have that can-do mentality.
Yeah. I picked the wrong major in college because of a real estate show. But we're not going to talk about that.
I mean, that's one of the main reasons I actually didn't go to college is because I actually got a scholarship to USC for singing.
Yeah.
But I was like, is singing really going to be like a career to push me to the next level if you don't really have the right steps lined up?
Right.
And a lot of singers don't really go to college. They just start like working with a producer or get signed. So I was like, if I'm going to go to college, it's either going to be for law, medicine, or business.
The big boys.
The big boys.
Yeah, that's the same thing here. Okay. Wow. So then did you take a course or anything?
Yeah, so I actually just ended up doing it online. I was still working for In-N-Out like 50 hours a week.
Wow.
And then I told myself that the second I passed, I literally like the next day I went into In-N-Out and I put in my 2 weeks.
Wow.
A lot of people said like, you won't do it, you know? It's that 9 to 5, not really 9 to 5. Like the shifts are really chaotic.
It is. It's a hustle still.
It's really hard. Like you're managing about like 100 people, and one manager isn't really in charge of one thing. You're in charge of like operations, hiring, firing, like inventory. And normally like businesses set you up as you're just in charge of one thing. So I kind of just learned it all and was in charge of it all.
Yeah.
And have so many crazy stories working at that place.
I was just about to say, so let's go into the stories real quick. Well, hold on. Real quick, I want to break the ice a little bit. We're getting there, but I want to do 2 lies and a truth.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, girl. Give me your 2 lies and the truth. I want to see if I can pick it out. And I'm going to give you mine. I'm going to give you guys mine.
Okay. Let's start off with, I went to the Bahamas, and I went swimming with the sharks, and one of them bit me.
Oh, shit. Nah. Okay.
And then I actually dated a producer on Selling Sunset, but they got really upset that I didn't sign with them, and it didn't work out.
Why wouldn't you sign with them? I don't know if I can believe it. Okay, go ahead.
And I also sang the national anthem for LA Galaxy.
Now, you said you were a singer.
Oh.
And I know a singer when I see one, so that one might be the truth, y'all. Is that the truth?
That's the truth.
Where's my prize? I guess I gotta pay for it. Okay. All right, let me give you mine.
Okay. Okay, the lies?
So there's always a little truth to every lie. Tell me about the lies real quick.
I did go to
truth?
Bahamas,
okay.
But I'm deathly afraid of sharks, and I wouldn't do it. So I just sat in the boat. And my friends went in.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That's because are you white?
What?
Are you
yeah.
white? You are?
Background ethnicity is like Russian and German.
Okay.
But I'm definitely born and raised here.
Girl, ain't no way I'm getting in. Okay, what about the other one?
I definitely did not date a producer from Selling Sunset, but I've heard these stories.
Because you would have signed, huh?
Yeah?
Yeah, hell yeah, you would have signed. I'm like, nah, that can't be true. Okay, what are mine? I have been to every state in the United States. I used to be a corrections officer, and I actually love to sing as a hobby. Oh, I stumped her. I stumped her good.
You have not been to all 50 states.
Oh, yeah, you got me there.
Yeah. And singing is not your hobby.
Damn, you cheated. You cheated. You cheated.
No, there's no way. Really?
You really thought I was an officer? How? Usually, like, my petite size, people are like, no.
You have this strong front.
Wow. Girl, you should see me behind doors.
Oh, I'm scared.
No, I'm scared.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, good job.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
thank
to get you something. I think I'm gonna get my guest, everybody that gets it right, I'm gonna get y'all something. For real. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about
Nice ring.
Courtesy of a nice man that I like to call my husband. Thank you.
Oh, congrats. Yeah, wait. Yeah, what? You're married?
Okay. Yeah, I am married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. We have an anniversary coming up actually next month.
Give us some gossip about your husband.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, God.
Yeah.
They want the gossip on
Where
my
did you
husband.
meet? What's it like?
Oh, seriously? What?
How long
wait,
have you been together?
These are all questions I didn't prepare for.
That's the easiest answer.
They're really hard. No. I slid in his DMs.
Such a cute love story.
Yeah, right? Like in today's world.
Cheers to your love.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I think it'll be 3 years in November.
Ooh.
Usually it's the woman that's like, you don't know the date. And I really am like, yeah, I don't even know what I did 2 days ago. So, yeah. Anyway, I love him. We love each other. We're great. We're in this forever.
That's cute.
I was about to say a Will and Jada joke, but I'm not. So,
I mean,
keep it moving.
It sounds like kind of a little bit controversial, but I feel like these days it's a little rare to almost just see someone like proudly married and like so happy. And it's like, it sounds so weird to say that, but it's just like in this time and age, like there's so much hookup culture, finding like people that actually want to date because there's actually too much out there that's flooding like your eyes, and just like the like people that won't even try, they'll just go on Instagram, open their phone, and just if you set your phone as an algorithm to like a male, automatically there's just like so many girls on there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was like a study done on that. So like it's like, that's why I really do mean it. Like when I say congratulations, because I feel like people that are in like happier like relationships.
Thank you.
It's a little bit more rare to find.
Yeah, I tell my husband all the time, I'm glad I'm not in the dating market because it's crazy out there just from the stories. And then people's like mindset, they're very into themselves.
Right.
So, yeah. How is it like, especially when you're a realtor? Like, do you guys do a lot of hookups? Like with
you know what?
Other?
I will actually put a DM I got last night on blast. Right?
Let's do it.
Right? So someone messaged me, I won't say the name, and said, hey, would you mind helping design something with me? And I was like, okay, design what? They're like, I see that you specialize in ADUs.
Yeah.
I used to sell ADUs as well, which is like just a side specialty of real estate.
Right.
People who don't know what an ADU is, it's an additional dwelling unit that you build on the back of your property. You turn a single unit home into a duplex or possibly even a triplex, depending on the zoning and the codes. So I was like, all right, this is a real lead. Cool. Can I help you design it? And do you need permits and what kind of ADUs are you building? There's 3 different kinds. Was like, yeah, I would actually just like love to take you out for drinks and dinner. And I was like, oh my goodness. So like, This is just one of those things why it's harder for a girl and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way to anyone, but like for an attractive girl in business, in any business, not just real estate, that you have to get over that hump of like, I want to take you on a date, to just making sure they only come to your office or coffee. And it's constant like direction, like, hey, no, I'm not going on a date with you.
Yeah.
If you want to message me about business, you can't flip it and then say, let's go on a date. No.
But then does it make it hard? Because I'm sure there's some girls out there that are like, you know what, let's go ahead and see where I can take this. Not necessarily like, I don't know, but what if he has money? What if he could be a sale? What if they entertain it long enough to where it turns out to be something? You know, is it hard to like compete with those that are willing to do anything or willing to do the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them get it, but I think it comes down at the end of the day to, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And most of the time, the people with money really don't need you. So then they're messaging you for the wrong reasons anyway.
Facts.
They have someone else who can do the job for them. They're just using it as a reason to talk to you.
Scumbags. Wow. Okay,
I'm saying too much?
No, girl, no, that's awesome. No, that's good. People need to know that because if there's somebody interested in this, industry, they need to know the pros and cons, both sides. Because you're right, it takes a special kind of like self-encouragement, wall building to be like, hey, no, you got to know your own boundaries. Otherwise, you'll get trampled over.
Right.
I mean, I'm still learning how to build my bricks as we go.
Of course. And I don't want to shut people down from the idea of going into real estate or creating their own business. But you do have to understand that there are certain humps that a female has to do that a male maybe doesn't. I don't know if males are constantly getting slid in their DMs to have a girl take them out to do a business deal. I don't think so. So it's just one more thing that we have to necessarily conquer in order to get the deal done.
Yeah.
And then there's always going to be like that stigmatism.
Yeah.
Oh, like the rumors, oh, she only got that deal because she went on a date.
Yeah.
So then it's constant controversy. But like I would say, you got to put your big girl pants on and not care what people say about you. I know it's like just an old saying, but you really can't because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to get the deal done.
Wow.
Can I jump in real quick? I have a question. Are you able to turn all those leads, all those dudes sliding into your DM into actual clients? Maybe not all of them, but if you get 10 DMs, can you convert one of them into a sale?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I have an investor, for example. I still have them in my back pocket. And he was insistent on like, take me on a date. And I was like, no. And then eventually I flipped the switch. I was like, yes. And I brought my friend.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Easy, fine. I brought her. This is a while ago. We went on a date, but I got 7 open houses from him.
Wow.
All of them about $4 million homes in Brentwood.
Wow.
And maybe I didn't actually do like the deal with him, but then he still would message me, hey, do you have a buyer for this? Do you have a buyer for that? So like I said, it's a hump. And as long as you can get over that like kind of issue, then you're right. You can turn them into a deal because I may not have signed a paperwork deal with him, but he gave me a lot more business in the long run.
Wow. Because
I let him, quote unquote, take me out to dinner one time with my friend.
Yeah. And some guys really just want to do that. Some guys really just want to flex a little, like gently flex and get close to another pretty girl. I don't know. You kind of got to just weigh it out and kind of have your senses on it. Like, I don't know.
100%. I mean, there are still some rotten apples out there. Don't get me wrong. And there are people that I think will push the limits and do things out of the ordinary, out of context to get the deal done. I mean, there's rumors, or like someone said it earlier, there's always a little bit of truth to a lie. Yeah. So if there's rumors about it, most likely there are people who are doing that. It's just those are different methods. Yeah. But it does kind of taint the industry a little bit because people are doing that.
So how do you feel about the different reality shows that are out? Because I watched quite a few of them with like Selling Sunset, OC, all those.
Yeah.
And there's so much like drama inside of it to where somebody's sleeping with somebody else, or somebody's like talking to another person's client, or they're undercutting them on the deal. Is that really like a representative of what's...
I mean, I wish I could say that's false, but I actually just witnessed this happen with 2 agents that I know in real life.
Yeah.
Where an agent just kept getting jealous of this one person in the office that just kept getting the deals. And eventually they actually left because they were just jealous and they felt like it was special treatment. Or then they started grabbing their clients. So those kind of things do happen in real life. In terms of the shows, a lot of it has to add some drama. You know, it's a drama for a reason. So they do kind of focus on that. My favorite season is honestly season 1 of Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
They weren't famous yet. They did more real estate.
Yeah.
They actually were kind of working. Yeah, they're pretty, they're models, but they also did more actual real estate in that season than they did the rest.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, a lot of people didn't like Christine Quinn, but they only hated her because she was successful.
She was successful.
And she actually didn't date anyone. She had a boyfriend that is now her husband. So she didn't try to go in anyone else's lane. She just did her own thing, yet she was the most hated. Does that make sense? I don't know.
I mean, that's how it usually goes. Haters are going to hate the most successful because they don't have what it takes, or they don't have exactly what you're doing to operate or to get the deals done. So that's just a part of it in every industry, right?
Right.
So what are some of the most extreme things you've seen? I know that you've been in some multi-million-dollar properties, right? What's one of the most insane things that you've seen in there, you know?
Okay. One story came to mind right when you said that.
Okay.
It was at a very popular agent who was definitely on one of these reality TV shows. It's one of his listings.
Ooh,
And
I think I know who it is.
I was at an open house. It's in Beverly Hills. And the home is, I believe it was at one point listed for like $40 million.
Okay.
And I'm walking on the patio deck, and someone was walking on it as well. And they stepped in, and the concrete cracked. This is at an open house. Mind you, this is already had to pass inspection, had to pass safety, had to pass everything in order to have a broker's open is what they call it.
Yeah.
Or twilight open.
Oh,
So
didn't know that.
that person stepped on it. It literally cracked. Thank goodness there was people around, grabbed them before they fell. The drop was at least like 40 feet.
No. Oh my gosh.
So this was like an extreme lawsuit waiting to happen. Honestly, that person could have or might have sued, because that is so, I mean, that could have been really bad. So that's probably one of the most extreme things I've seen happen, especially at a celebrity realtor's open house.
How embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that person's okay, but I would.
I mean,
assume
everyone
just from...
was freaking out, and everyone's quickly left right after that, obviously.
Really?
Yeah. And this specific home actually was on the market for a year with another celebrity realtor, and it didn't get sold. Oh, and then it was back on the market with someone else.
Wow.
So that's a crazy story.
So, okay, Tim, let's keep going with the crazy stories, because I have so many questions. I'm like, okay, so you guys have access to these dope houses. Do you guys, like, do anything in them? Or do you know people that really do, like...
I have heard of underground, like, businesses. I'm not gonna lie, I have been approached by people asking me if I have any listings or if I know someone with listings to use for recreational purposes.
Wow.
And they'll slide me a cut. That is very, very true. I have been approached. Do people actually do that? Probably. The cut wasn't as big as you think it would be. So in the end, if you're like a smart realtor, it's not going to be worth it to you to lose your license, lose the deal, lose all of it, unless you're just getting desperate and it's a quick cut.
Wow.
So I can't say that it's true, but I can say that people are trying. And I have been approached.
Insane. Wow. I don't know. I just kind of thought.
Are you shocked at the answer?
Yeah, I am kind of, because I'm like, no, they wouldn't, jeopardize anything. They wouldn't take a chance. Like, and then there's cameras in a lot of these places, right? So it's like.
You would think. You would think.
Okay. Wow. So let's go back. I saw on your IG, because I was looking at your IG, girl. You do property managing?
Property managing and, well, ADUs.
Okay, so you explain that. Like, what do you do?
So essentially, like, you can do property management, you can do like a niche in real estate,
Okay.
but a lot of it has to do with brokering deals.
Okay.
So essentially, I have a lot of clients who have short-term rentals.
Okay.
That's a very big thing right now. You have to think of Airbnbs. A lot of people are really trying to
Right.
get into that. Commercial spaces, small events.
Is that just, are you speaking just for California or just in general?
For the short-term rentals, yeah, just for California.
Okay.
Anything outside buying, again, like everyone's real estate license is to cater to their state.
Okay.
Unless you meet a realtor who has multiple licenses in different states. Mm-hmm. So if I wanted to go to Miami, I have to go get a Miami real estate license.
Okay. Is that something you're considering?
I mean, I love Miami. I just went there. No, but for now, we do have a lot of trusted realtors that we just sign off on the deal, and then it's like a finder's fee.
Oh.
And vice versa with them as well. They'll send something to LA to you.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I have a pretty blunt question to
Oh,
ask.
let's do it.
Have you or any agents you know had sex in a listing
They went
that
straight to
you've had?
Okay.
I have to say no, that I know of. I know someone who had sex for a listing, but I'm not sure where it happened. But I
Wow.
do know someone who specifically did have sex for a listing.
What's the most you've done to get a deal?
Dinner. That is it.
I like it. Safe.
Classy girl.
Safe and full. Okay, nice. Okay, so how do you stand out when there's competition like that? People down to get, in between the sheets to get a deal done. What do you do? Like, what do you do? Not in you in particular,
Yeah.
but just in general. What are some good ideas? Because it's a lot of competition out here, you
Yeah.
know, and there's not a lot of real estate.
Yeah, it is a tough market, I can't lie. But with that being said, people respect you for two things. Number one, they feel good when they're around you.
Yeah.
And number two, they know that you know what you're doing. So I think knowledge is key. If someone tells you they're looking for something and you just happen to have the right answers at that time and
Yeah.
you make them feel good, people don't buy a house because it looks good. They buy it because they feel good when they're in it, which is why you can see someone buy a distressed home and revamp it.
Yeah.
It obviously isn't pretty, but they bought it because they see the potential or they like the area or they feel good.
Yeah.
Then you see someone buy a turnkey home, turn it around and sell it a year later because they just didn't actually like the home. They thought they liked it. So you're not really selling the home. It's realistically taking someone there and they're buying on emotion. So the way that you can beat out competition is people buy it because they like you. And like, even though there are people doing deals, quote unquote, getting under the sheets, they actually will probably lose respect for you.
Yeah.
So I don't think people are thinking about that in the long run, and they're losing deals just for like just one shot of fame, and then it doesn't actually work out, and then people will always know that about you, and then your whole entire reputation for your rest of your life is tainted
Yeah.
over one thing. So I think knowledge is key.
I love that answer because that's absolutely it. And then just having respect for yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple yes/no questions.
Okay.
I want to see how truthful you are with this part. I know this is a little tense portion of the show.
Wait, what is going on?
Okay, so I'm just going to put this in a couple places on your shirt, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to go up here.
It's okay.
Oh, wow, she's touching my boob. Is that normal?
If you like it, we love it.
I'm like, don't touch me there.
Here.
And my butt. Okay.
Is it good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Don't get nervous.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to ask you a few basic questions.
Okay.
Is your name Alyssa?
Yes.
Are you a realtor?
Yes.
Do you love what you do?
Yes.
Would you like to quit tomorrow?
No.
Have you ever had sex for a deal?
Nope.
Do you want to date your boss?
What boss?
Ooh. Have you ever wanted to date your boss but didn't because you wanted to keep it professional?
No.
Do you care about the kids in Africa?
Yes.
How much have you donated?
I haven't donated.
But you care about the kids in Africa?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have donated to the war in Israel and Gaza.
Okay.
I'm going to get some hate, but I'm pro-Israel.
Okay.
I have gotten some hate messages already in regard to that, but it's okay.
We're using AI for these, so
Oh my gosh.
don't blame us. Have you ever skinny dipped in a pool at a listing?
No, I have not.
Have you ever stolen a client?
Not on purpose.
Ooh. That's my note. That's my note to follow up.
Okay.
Have you ever lied to a client to get their business?
White lies? Do those count?
It's just a yes or a no.
Then yes.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Yay.
These,
No more lie detector.
they were starting to make me feel like, no, I'm not gonna ask that.
I was like, what? Y'all really wanted to put some heat today.
Okay, so let's switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
I know I had you in the hot seat. Let's
All
just
right.
calm down a little bit, because now I really want to know. Like, you said you got into real estate. How did you get into real estate? I don't think we got onto that.
You know, just really was interested in it. I love the houses, like driving by. It's kind of like a cute, like sentimental story. But like every weekend, me and my mom, just for fun, we would go look at all the brand new homes and just like walk through them. And like, I don't really know why we would, or just like we were bored or just like wanted to do something or just like walk around. We would drive like far and just,
Wow.
At the time there was a brand called KB and they were really popular for a while, especially out where she lives. She lives in Palmdale.
Okay, yep.
So most people assume I'm from like Beverly Hills, Calabasas. No, I'm from Palmdale. Anyone who knows anything about there, very, very few white people live there. Saw life pretty tough. Like saw things that you probably wouldn't really realize seeing as like a 14, 15-year-old. My dad lives in Long Beach, so I kind of saw both sides.
Yeah.
Grew up both areas. But yeah, it did. It influenced me in the real estate side that we would always go see these homes. And one of my friend's mom was like a killer, badass woman. She was an FBI agent and a realtor.
Wow.
I know. Like, what?
Who needs both?
Who needs
Like,
both? I don't know why she was both. And she had like 8 kids.
Oh, this sounds made up, but
No,
I believe you.
It sounds made up. It sounds like, and she's just always like, you know, just like smiling, like looking like one of those suburban moms. Like you would just never believe. I would just think that she's out grabbing a coffee every day. But yeah, she was an undercover FBI agent working on Skid Row, actually. And then she
Wow.
literally sold my mom's house.
Wow.
And so I think that also probably influenced me, like unconsciously, you know, like these things happen when we're kids and then you realize later, oh, wait, I do this because of that.
Yeah.
So that was one of those things. I just always felt like it was a cool business to be in. And honestly, I love reading.
Yeah.
Most of the self-help books that I read, real estate is the way that you gain long-term wealth and kind of just leave a legacy, something for your future kids.
Yeah.
Literally have a map.
That's literally what got me into it too. Like, I have a 10-year-old, but at the time she was like 4 and she would cry every time I left to go to work because I would have to travel for like 4 days at a time, right? And it started to break my heart. So I simply was like, what do rich people do? I Googled it, and the first thing it was like real estate. So I was like, okay, that's what's got to go down.
Right.
I've got to figure out this real estate stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I get it. You know, you got to learn a different way to trade your time.
It's like a comparison in business, but most employees won't work for a business if they can't have equity.
Yeah.
So the way that works in real estate is the United States lets you buy land. That's technically equity in the country. So it's the same thing. You don't work for a business if you can't ever move up or you can't feel like you're getting those good jobs. Then it's the same like in real estate. If you can't buy property, if you can't own it at the end of the day, you'll never feel like you have a piece of the pie. And everyone realistically wants to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
But isn't it tough to get in, like especially in California? You know?
The pass rate's pretty low.
The what is?
The pass rate on the real estate exam is about 40%.
Wow.
Yeah. So most people take it, ask them, but ask everyone you have on here how many times they took the test.
How many times did it take you?
Once. Thank God.
Wow. Okay.
But there was also a wait. There's also a big wait for it. So I actually went down to San Diego to take my test to urge the process forward because I wanted to become a realtor as fast as possible. But if I would have waited, I think there was an 8-month wait to take the test in Los Angeles.
Is that still today? Like it's a long wait today?
I believe it's about like a 3-month wait now. It's just still a pretty long wait.
Wow. What are other options? Like, because it just feels so crowded and it feels like there's so few properties.
I think people think that when you're in real estate that you have to be a real estate agent. There are so many other things that you can do and avenues you can approach. You can be an interior designer. You can go work for construction as well. They go hand in hand. You can be a property manager. You can be you can just be someone's assistant, and then without even getting your real estate license, you can work with investors. And a lot of people don't have their license at all, but most quote unquote rich people buy and sell land either in the wholesale industry or they'll buy a property, flip it, and hold and leave it as a long-term rental. So those are other things that you can do in real estate without even having your license.
Is there anything else you want to do outside of being a realtor?
I want to do that, like those two things that I just mentioned.
Okay.
So like buy properties and flip them,
Flip it.
or buy it and find a buyer and just be the wholesale
Yeah.
in between.
Do you have anything going now?
At the moment, no, but I have a couple deals that are starting to come.
Nice.
Because even though the market's bad, the housing prices are starting to dip. So for people that are prepared, this is a sale.
Yeah.
This is the time for them to buy. Because you can lock in a house at whatever price it is, your interest rate can forever change.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing, like to everyone listening and wants to know something about real estate, please take that into effect, that it actually is a good time to buy because the housing prices are going down and your rate will change.
And your rate will change because you can later refi?
Yes.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay, so that is something that most people don't think they can get over. They're like, oh, it's not a good time. And they just go with, is it a buy moment or is it a sell moment? But you got to know the different cards you can play and your different exit strategies, I'm sure.
Right.
So with the ADUs, would you try to find a property that has an opportunity to add an ADU?
100%.
Yeah.
I want to find a property without ADU compatibility. You always want to have that option. An ADU, you can build and you can finance it maybe for like $800 a month while you're building it. And most of the time, those babies rent for like $4,000, $4,500.
So then would you look for a property that has extra land or a property that just has like an extra garage?
There are 3 different types of ADUs you can do. You can
Okay.
do a garage conversion, so sometimes you don't always need the land. You can do a J ADU, which is attached to the home. So again, you still don't need a lot of land as long as you can bypass all the codes and the restrictions, like being like 4 feet away from the property line, et cetera. There's a lot of things that you have to do. Or you can just build one in your backyard. That's like the most typical one that people see. And those one you can build up to 1,200 square feet. In some cities restrict you down to 800, but that's still pretty big. You can do a 1 or 2 bedroom and it's another house. And they actually just passed a law that you can sell the ADU separately now.
Wow. I didn't know that.
That is big. That is a big one.
Wow.
So that is also going to change the industry. Nobody thought that would happen.
How is that even? Yeah. How is that even? Because then it's like now you got to fence off and find another entry point.
Yeah. There's also something called, I know this is all like really technical, but there's something called SB9 where you can split the property.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Wow. So there's definitely many ways to go about achieving this.
Yes.
You just have to find a property
Yes.
in a place that's like impossible.
And if you have an investor, I mean, that's the key. If you have an investor, if you have upfront money or you can take a loan, There are so many avenues, so many options, so many answers to the things you want to do. Just talk to a real estate professional.
Yeah. So
Like
how do you like you. So how do you find people? Do you go out finding people, or do you use IG to like broadcast, what you do?
I do IG. I do a lot of IG lives, some podcasts as well. Always informational. Always try to add value. Honestly, a lot of it is networking. I say, no matter what, if you are going to get into real estate, please be good at networking. Don't be afraid to talk to people. You have to talk to people. If you never talk about it, no one's ever going to know. And I think that's the biggest thing I see is people are afraid to ask for the business. It's like a grocery store isn't afraid to ask you $5 for the almond milk. Now $8 for that almond milk.
Girl.
Like, they're not afraid to ask for the business. Yeah. People will buy it if they need it or if they want it.
Yeah, that's good. So how do you use social media to your marketing advantage? Like, what tricks and tips can you give?
Always stay top of mind. Stories are watched more than post. Okay. But I would say...
Really?
Yes. Okay. So stories, views are just always going to be higher than your post views. A lot of it is the algorithm, but also sometimes people don't have a lot of time and maybe they're just like clicking and they don't have time to like scroll. Maybe they're on their lunch break. You just want them to see something. Maybe you're just simply at an open house or with a client. But the more people see that you're actually doing it, the more trust and knowledge that establishes. And then also just having a post and just it could be so simple as just talking about how to buy a property or how to get a loan, like very simple things. It doesn't have to be crazy. In fact, the more crazier it is, the less people want to watch it because they get lost.
So like crazy as in in-depth information?
In-depth information, yeah.
Okay.
Because they're going to get lost in the numbers and the terminology. You just want to make it really simple, like calling out to first-time home buyers. I mean, pro tip, if sometimes you could just be like, oh, like, I can buy you a house. Yeah. Or like, I'm going to waive the down payment for you. And then like hook them in because you gave them something that they want. Yeah. And these are all true. There are so many different ways that you can waive. There's FHA, down payment assistance programs. There are so many different things, but they don't know that. Yeah. So hook them with something that they need. And then bring them in and then speak to them.
Okay. And then do you use, the whole goal?
Is just to get them in your office.
Yeah. Because once that happens, you got the whole layout and different options for them so that they can feel comfortable and not pressured.
Right.
They're putting you on blast, girl. So these pictures are they're so sexy.
Thank you.
Does that helps in selling, I'm sure.
I think people want to be always surrounded by like positivity. Right. So if you're not surrounded by positivity and like welcoming people, like everyone's always going through something, right?
Yes.
So if you're not adding something to where they just at least at the bare minimum feel good when they're around you, they're not going to buy from you. So
that's so crazy how that really like correlates. Like, because it's kind of like a mental game. It's kind of like I don't even know the technical term, but people have to feel like they can resonate with you, right. Like you're human, you get it. I'm going to give her my $1 million like to sell this.
Yeah. And another like big thing is that a lot of people don't realize that most people in their life will only make this purchase once, maybe twice. So you are literally helping them out with the biggest sale of their life. So a lot of them put like their whole life in your hands. Most realtors I meet are nice. Most.
Yeah. You know what? So I'm venturing into multi-family syndication. Basically, I want to buy apartment complexes, right? And I had a broker rather, tell me I need to walk or crawl before I walk. And it just hurt me so bad. Like,
no, they're jealous of you.
Yeah, I know my husband was like, man, fuck him. Good. I was like, but oh my God, it hurt because he just sat here and told me how he's worked with me more than I know because I have a few other properties that my realtor went to him for like advice on, like, hey, let's close this. I want to make sure I do it the right way. So he knows me. And so I got excited. Like I was so nervous. Many people are hella nervous to talk to realtors. You know that, right? Do you feel that?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they might just like grab your money. But
because you guys are like salespeople, right?
Right. But another thing that people don't realize is like, don't be afraid to go for the big guns, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. So if you buy a home that's, let's just say 500,000, turn around and sell it for 600,000, boom, you made 100K, right?
Okay.
Let's just say you buy $1 million home, you sell it for 1.1.
Yeah.
You made 100K.
Yeah.
It's the same. Just because the numbers are bigger doesn't mean it's better.
Yeah.
And people really need to know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you taking your time and sitting down with me and going through some good, some bad, some ugly, and keeping it real with us, okay?
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I want to ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
Just so I can understand and just to get the audience to like see a little more. So I want to ask, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
You know, I am in sports as well. Used to play soccer. And just a popular quote that I've always seen around is, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I think I am one of those people that have been through a lot.
Yeah.
And especially in the last 3 years of my life, have been like, I can't catch a break. I don't even want to go into detail. But I think it's just the fact that I'm literally still sitting here today, like, not afraid of failing. And now I see it as a positive. Like, every single time I fail, I'm like, thank you. I'm one more step closer to like a big success.
That's a beautiful mindset. You have to have that in order to achieve greatness. That's great. What is a book you would like to recommend?
A book I would like to recommend. One of my favorites is Atomic Habits. Off the top of my head, I can't think who wrote it, but it is one of the best on all of like the wealth entrepreneur sites. It's recommended. Yeah. And it is a harder read, but there is also another one called 48 Laws of Power, pretty popular. That one's like more of a tougher read.
Nice.
And right now I am reading the great, like, Patrick Bet-David's book. And I believe it's called like The Greatest Habits or something like that.
Okay. I'll have to check those out. Okay.
I always recommend reading.
Yes, absolutely. It's crucial. Okay. And then my next question is, what did you have to change to see a change? Or what do you want to take a chance on?
I think you have to dig deep and realize something that you're doing wrong if you're getting the same result. Yeah. So I had to realize that I needed to change something about me. Not that it was necessarily wrong. I think that's where people are afraid of changing. It doesn't mean that what you're doing is like wrong, but if you're not getting the result that you need, then you need to try a different avenue to get it. Yeah. There's multiple ways of getting there, and sometimes I can get like tunnel vision. Yeah. So I needed to learn to think outside the box and find a different avenue.
Yeah. Recognize when you're going into that tunnel and get up out.
Yeah.
Take a different route.
There's a detour. There's construction all over LA, right? How many times are we detouring these streets? Yeah. All the time. So like if you can't go right when your GPS is saying turn right and there's a blockade and it just doesn't know it, you keep going and find a new route.
Nice. Okay. So what do you want to take a chance on?
What I want to take a chance on? A new venture. Add something onto my plate. I like a full plate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. Busy woman. You're trying to be that FBI undercover agent. I know. It's okay.
Yeah, you know.
You can do it all.
You're a corrections officer.
Not anymore. I can't. I'm trying to get stuff off my plate. I'm like, baby, when can we get this chef? When can we get this nanny? I need help.
I mean, that's another thing, though, is don't be afraid to state your value. Yeah. I've been really practicing that as well. And if you don't say like, hey, I require this, or if you never ask for it, how do you know you're never going to receive that?
Absolutely.
You want a personal chef, right? Yeah. Have you looked into how much it costs? Have you looked into maybe having them once a week instead of 7 days? Get used to the feeling. Get used. It's not the people that live a different life and have 7 cars, all luxury, and live a $10 million home. go ask them if they're having an easy month. They'll be like, man, I just sometimes like if your problem could feel the same as theirs.
Yes, theirs.
But if you never get used to having a driver, a chef, or what it even feels like to be in a Lambo, if you've never been in one, or if you've never been in a private jet, go talk to these people. What do they do? What is their daily life? What are some problems they face? Wow. They're going to be very similar to yours, just with bigger numbers.
Wow. Listen, you have opened my mind, and I thank you so much for taking your time. Again, you guys, this is Alyssa Clayton. Where can people find you?
My IG is the Alyssa Clayton. TikTok is the same. And on there, I mostly post my singing stuff. IG is strictly professional. And yeah.
All right.
I don't know if I should give my number out. I'm probably
no, they can go find you.
You go find me.
Yes, if you want to sell your house or buy a house or get sung to, or if you want to take her out on a dinner date. Oh, wait, she's dating. Maybe. I don't know. It's complicated. Hit her up. Slide in her DMs. You guys, thank you so much for attending and listening to Keeping It Real Estate.
Ooh.